You could be very, very technical as a fighter. You could have the best jiu-jitsu, the best striking. But if you don't have them cojones, you don't have that warrior mentality, you are not going to be a champion and you're not going to get anywhere in the UFC. UFC Fight Night. And we'll start off with the Paul Craig fight vs Bellato. You know, there's a lot of hype behind Rodolfo Bellato, and he did go up against one of the boogeymans for me. A guy who's beat the light heavyweight champion. He beat Ankalaev with a submission. He broke Jamal Hill's arm, which I went and watched live back in the day. And yeah, Paul Craig is one of the boogeymen. And it was a weird fight, right? And it actually ended up in a very strange situation where Paul Craig threw an upkick. Bellato, it caught him. You know, it was an illegal upkick. However, Bellato almost like complained to the referee as he got kicked, then acted like he was knocked out, then sat up against the octagon, and then next thing you know, he started like trying to grapple the referee, acting like, you know, he thought he was still in the match. I'm not going to lie, guys. I thought that was Oscar-winning acting. And I know a lot of the MMA community agree with me. There's no way, you know, he complained and then all of a sudden knocked out and then he's up again trying to go like... Look, it was an illegal kick and Paul Craig has to take responsibility. However, I did think there was some flopping, some acting, and Rodolfo Bellato, you know, I think things like that do piss off the boss Dana White, and you might get released, Mudgy. I'm not sure for 100%, but it was not a good look. So it looks like this matchup is kind of doomed. Last time we were meant to have the matchup, Rodolfo Bellato had a cold sore, so he wasn't able to fight. That got cancelled. This week we had Paul Craig with the upkick. Again, a no contest. Will they book it again, or are they just going to allow it? I don't know. But yeah, that's the only fight from the preliminary card that I'm going to cover. We obviously saw a dirty KO by Malcolm Wellmaker on Chris Moutinho, the guy who took a beating from Sugar O'Malley in the past. Did the UFC bring back Chris Moutinho just to get him battered one last time by the UFC? Yeah, that was a bit of a crazy one. But yeah, we're going to start off with the main card because I'm not going to be covering so much UFC content until we get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I'll go deeper and deeper into it. But we will be covering the main card, which the main card was very, very underwhelming. We had six decisions, man. Six decisions, which you guys know, man. Like, if we're gonna watch the UFC and you get 6 decisions in the main card, that's a flop. You know, Dana White's not gonna be happy. The fans are not happy. You know, we want to see finishes, but to be fair, they want the absolutely worst fight. So we're going to start off with Alonso Menifield vs Umar Sy. Umar Sy was an unbeaten guy. There was a lot of hype behind him. And, you know, he just wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a fighter for me. And this is what I keep mentioning. I keep mentioning it to my friends around me, my cousin. And I explain to them, look, you could be very, very technical as a fighter. You could have the best jiu-jitsu, the best striking. But if you don't have them cojones, you don't have that warrior mentality, you are not going to be a champion and you're not going to get anywhere in the UFC. And we saw that recently with Bo Nickel, right? He went up against Reina Dorida, who also is a good wrestler, but for me has more of the fight in him, more balls, more warrior mentality. And Bo Nickel, he might have that amazing wrestling, you know, but he just doesn't have the warrior mentality, and it showed. And this goes for a lot of the fighters. And Umar Sy, the new guy on the block, it goes for him as well. Menifield was, you know, more willing to strike, get in the pocket more. It was a bit of a boring fight, but Menifield ended up getting the win. Next up, we have Monsieur Abdul Malik vs Cody Brundage, which that one was a bit of a weird fight. It was like a technical. They counted it as a technical KO, and they made it like go. It was a weird one because it was like he kind of Malik kind of like, you know, hit him down with, it was like a headbutt, right? It was like an accidental headbutt, and then like Brundage was all over the place. Either way, I do think Malik was going to go get that W. And, you know, he was beating him in the first and second round for sure. So, yeah, that one, I don't see Brundage being in the UFC for much longer. I think his time at the UFC's kind of come to the end. He's 11-7 right now, so it's not really looking good for him. All right, next up we have Cody Garbrandt vs. Barcelos. Raoni Barcelos, sorry, Raoni. So Cody Garbrandt vs. Barcelos. As you guys know, who watch me, I did want Barcelos to win. You know, a little bit personal for me. Cody Garbrandt used to always try to get into my ex's DMs. You know, he's he's a little bit hungry for pussy. And I guess he likes tatted girls because my ex is tatted, pretty tatted, and you know he's very tatted as well. But yeah, he would always hit her up. Obviously, he never got a DM back. But however, yeah, I would be happy to seeing him getting banged up. We never saw him get banged up. Actually, he got dropped in the 3rd round. However, we did see him get beat, man, in every single round. Cody Garbrandt, for me, he's got great speed when it comes to striking. He does have that power to knock out people at 135. However, he's mediocre, man. He's truly mediocre. His striking is, let's just say, it's very predictable. He's not all-rounded. He doesn't throw too many fakes. And he only has the power behind him. For me, Cody Garbrandt doesn't have that the talent to be a champion, especially at 135 right now. And Barcelos really exposed him, man. Was able to also take him down. Wasn't also able to hold him down and submit him, but he did rain down a little bit of blows on him. However, what Barcelos was able to do, which was good, was throw feints, let Cody Garbrandt throw first, and then counteract these feints, you know. So, yeah, big up Barcelos, went and got that W. Next up, we had Edmund Shabazian vs. Andre Petroski. I thought this one was well matched. However, Edmund Shabazian was better than him standing up. I think he also broke Petroski's forearm with a high kick. You know, Petroski really reacted badly to that. And Petroski's one of those guys who is, I say again, you know, he's got decent wrestling. He's okay standing, not really that great. However, he just doesn't have the balls and the warrior mentality to go become a champion or anything great in that division. Okay, so I'm gonna close one of the streams. I'm gonna close this one first. So we're gonna close this stream. Catch me on YouTube, guys. I've seen a few of you guys in the stream. Catch me on YouTube. All right. And we'll come off this one in a sec as well. All right, cool. So next up, we have Rose Namajunas vs. Miranda Maverick. And just to let you guys know, I called Umar Saad to win, who lost. I called Abdul Malik to win, who won. I called Barcelos to win, who won. I called Shabazian to win, who won. And I did call Rose Namajunas to win, who won. However, I know one of the judges scored it 30-27 to Rose. I didn't think it was a 30-27. I thought it was a 28-27. I mean, 29-28. I'm sorry. I thought it was a 29-28. I think Miranda did get one of the rounds. However, I think Rose won the other 2 rounds. I think Rose was doing better with the striking. She was able to knock down Miranda in the last round. It wasn't a great knockdown, but it was a knockdown nevertheless. And yeah, man, Rose is really elite. Like, and I do want to see her make a run for this division, you know, make a title run for this division, maybe one more win and she might get a title fight. You know, she called out Natalia Silva. I think it's going to be a tough match for her, but I think she can go get that W. And even Miranda Maverick, for me, is one of the best fighters in that division. Unfortunately for her, Rose was just that level above her. So, yeah, that was a good fight. Unfortunately, like I said, we never got no finishes in the main card. And next up, we're going to break down the main fight, which I was very, very disappointed with Joaquin Buckley, man. Joaquin, for me, was just not good enough. He obviously didn't practice the takedown defense well enough. And Usman was able to do what he did to a lot of opponents before the Colby days, before the Masvidal days. You know, before Masvidal and before Colby, you know, Usman used to take down his opponents, hold him down there, and just smash him up there. And you know, with Masvidal fight, we almost saw him holding him up against the cage and almost getting little strikes in, but that was very boring. I think this time he was able to inflict more damage. He did cut up Buckley, but I would have liked to see a finish. Nevertheless, Usman hasn't fought in a while, and it was a very dominant performance. From start to finish, he was able to take him down. I think maybe in the third round, Buckley did get a few nice strikes and, you know, really put Usman on the back foot. However, that didn't last for long. And for Buckley to win the fight, he had to put Usman on the back foot, get close and personal, and try and knock him out, I think. You know, and Buckley showed us that his wrestling really is poor, isn't it? It's piss poor, his wrestling. Wasn't able to stand, did terribly with the takedown defense. And yeah, it is what it is. I can share your live stream to a large Kicks community for you to hit up enough followers and active. It's a spam, yeah?
Yeah, there's spam bots from Kicks, so we gotta try to ignore those.
Okay. Big up Wedgies. I see him in Kick. Buckley needs to do me wrestling. I see during late in fight he was adapt a little piece on takedowns, but yeah, Usman clear winner. Yeah, man. It looked like, I think it was in the fourth round. It was in the fourth or fifth round. I think it was in the fourth round that Buckley was able to get his legs really wide, get underhooks in and really keep Usman up. But he had to do that from the beginning. Especially, it's more important at the beginning, because if you're able to keep it standing at the beginning, then you make someone like Usman tired more and more. He can feel his knees more. He's going to have to get onto the striking more. And honestly, that's where Buckley would have flourished and beat him. So, yeah. All right, cool. So that's pretty much the breakdown for the UFC. What did you guys think of the UFC this weekend? It wasn't that great, right? I'm hoping the next one, which is the Jamal Hill vs Roundtree one, which is this weekend, which we will be breaking down on Thursday stream. I hope that one's going to be better. There are some good fights on there. I'm really looking forward to the Fiziev-Bajo Mendez fight. I think that one's going to be epic. Obviously, the main fight for that, Jamal Hill vs Roundtree, is going to be a banger. And even Curtis Blades going up against Kuniev, I think that's going to be a good fight. We've got Nicholas Mota against Sadikov going. And yeah, man, it's going to be some good fights this weekend. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch more clips like that, click here. Or if you want to watch the full stream, click here.